Let's go. If you just let go.
What's good? What's good? It's the Reverb Experiment episode 25. It's Stefdotnet on the mic. As y'all can see, we got something special today because G Focus is not on the mic this morning. We having an all ladies pod today. I got some special guests with me. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
So my name is Jamisha. I work in health insurance for low-income families based out of Oakland.
Ooh, she got money.
Yeah, that's great. I'm Imani. I am a filmmaker here in Sacramento.
Yes.
And I'm a mom, and I'm recently single. So, all interesting things to say.
Okay, she threw it out
Slide in
there.
the DMs,
Fellas,
Kay.
you heard?
Open the date.
Right.
What more do you want from me?
So we got a jam-packed show today. First off, RIP to a legend, RIP Shock G. We lost a good one. We gonna get into sexual satisfaction today. We gonna talk about date invoices. If it don't work out, you owe some money. Okay. We gonna talk about Lizzo's self-esteem project and Hazel E's mommy makeover, and we gonna get into Derek Jackson for the fellas, Mr. Kevin Samuels. So we got a lot going on today. First, we want to thank the listeners. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, do that because, yes, the audio is fire, but you need that video because the facial expressions
It's everything.
is everything. You gotta watch the video. So make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to support us, make sure y'all... What's our Facebook group? Reverb Nation. Yes. Make sure y'all check out Reverb Nation. Join the group. It's basically like a group chat for the podcast where it seriously goes. It goes down on the show, but it goes down in the group. So make sure y'all check that out, and we're going to get straight into it.
Yeah.
We're going to get straight. How y'all feeling? Y'all nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah, a lot of topics.
Kind of needed that drink.
once we get into it, it's gonna flow.
Yeah.
You're gonna be so invested in the topics that it's gonna flow easy. I promise y'all.
Yeah,
So
cool.
But starting off, I definitely want to talk about the Derek Chauvin verdict and also Miss Makeover Bryant that we lost to another police killing. So how y'all feeling about that?
I feel at this point definitely numb. I have a numbness in some ways. Because it's just so frequent, and then you have to kind of get through your day in some way. So I think with the verdict, with Derek Chauvin, great. Okay. I don't know if I felt completely fulfilled still. I still feel like we have a very serious issue on our hands. So, and with Makeover Bryant, what I could say with that is just, I wish there was just some sort of de-escalation. I just don't understand. I feel like there's so many steps that are missed, and that they're not good communicators. I mean, there's just no step taken before you kill somebody to.
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I would just say on that so far.
I agree 100%.
It was pretty heartbreaking. I think when my group chat was like, oh, we're all watching, I'm like, I don't even want to, I'm not even going to respond to this. Like, work is already stressful enough. And then, like, not be able to see family during a pandemic. And then it's just like, we got the verdict. I was happy. And then I was like, America going to America. But then we got the verdict. But then it's just like bittersweet because 2 hours later,
we lose another life.
Yeah, and it's like, that's a baby.
I was going to say a young life, too.
16.
I feel like that's what really hit me was just how young she was and thinking about the decision-making as a young person. Like, this is not an adult that is making, the decisions that she's making, especially when she feels like she's in danger.
Right.
And for people to just be so insensitive and be like, oh, well, but she had a knife and... At the end of the day, this is still somebody's life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't take it down to the circumstances. Like, this is somebody's life, and you can't say somebody deserved to not be here anymore, especially somebody that young. Like,
it's like they shoot first and ask questions later.
later.
And, like, and watching the video, he didn't have any, like, expression. Like, I did something wrong. I shot this young girl, but no expression on his face. Like, he didn't really
just like, well, I did my job. Like, no.
Right.
Yeah, that part of it, and then also just as a Black woman to see the responses was also hurtful. Because I'm like, dang, you know, what if that was me, or what if that was one of my nieces, or you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, she has a family and parents that are looking at you guys say, oh, well.
Yeah, right.
Like, what?
There's just a lot of, I don't think the same compassion is extended to Black women. So then it's a lot of, everybody wants to look at the details and, oh, well, she should have, you know, she had the nut. It was a similar thing with, there was that young Black woman, she was a mother, and her name is escaping me. But similar thing, like she was in her house, and she did have, I think she had a gun, but there was all this, and she was killed by the police. There was all this, oh, well, she should have done this, and she was kind of combative, and she, you know. But on the flip side, we are expected to just show up and support when Black men are killed by the police, and I will do that. But I just wish the same compassion was extended on both ends. And it's not just Black men I'm seeing this on all these right-wing, conservative, white, women, conservative,
women too. You know, it's not just the Black men, but it's the women too. And I just feel like we internalize so much about ourselves that I feel like sometimes we have the same energy that other people have towards Black women, we have towards each other a lot of the time. You at some point you're gonna internalize it. Like,
I agree.
Yeah, unfortunately situation, but RIP, love to the family. And I mean, we're definitely going to keep watching and see, you know, what happens. We definitely like to make sure that we stay current and we stay with because what's going on in our community.
The other officers are going to be on trial later this year, right?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it's not over.
Still not over.
It's not over. And again, I know a lot of people were saying, this isn't justice, it's accountability, because justice would have been him still having his life. So keep that in mind too. This is the accountability that all of us, if we would have done the same thing, we would be held accountable, and that's the same thing for the officers. And that's all. I mean, that's what we want that, but we want y'all to stop killing.
That's
the priority, and I think that's the part where it's like, oh, y'all not satisfied. We don't want to die at all. Like, I don't think that's a lot to ask. So, no. Come on now. Come on the board. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into these topics for today.
Let's get it on.
Where do we want to start? It's so much. We got so much on the list. Like, where do we want to start? Let's start with, but this will be our question of the day, because we have a lot of questions from the Reverb Nation, from the fellas. But we're going to start out with the main question of the day for you ladies. How important is sexual satisfaction, and how soon should you sleep with a potential partner?
What more do you want from me? What?
In your opinion, not what the internet tells us to do or tells us how we should think or operate. How do y'all feel?
It's important. It's very important. I don't really, there's no way really around that for me. I've dated people, I've tried. Either I was not that attracted to them, or I lost sexual attraction for them, or like or I lost sexual satisfaction. It just didn't work.
So what do you think made you lose it? I think the fellas need to know.
Well, I would say I tie. So for me, when I get deeper into a relationship, my emotional state does kind of link to sex. So if I'm feeling emotionally neglected, or if I'm feeling like you're not listening to me, or not validating how I feel, it all shuts down. Right. It just doesn't work. So that's like the first for me, but I feel like that's not probably the same for every woman. But
it is for me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, I think the more emotions, the better the sex. Because if I know it's not going nowhere, it's probably not gonna be that great.
No, seriously. Or if I feel like you don't really care about me, you know what I mean? Because I know I don't want to put my husband on blast, but sometimes I be like, bruh, you been shady all day, and now you want to hold on, though.
Right. don't
you know,
work
and
like
most,
that.
I feel like
Yeah.
most women don't keep it real about that because
Right.
they're like, oh, it doesn't matter if we fight, you know, the whole makeup sex supposed to be better, or, you know, if he asks me, then I'm doing it, because I feel like that's what we feel like we should say.
Yep.
But I mean, I could do it, but it's not always gonna be.
You know, I'm gonna go be fully present.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm still mad.
Right. Can we resolve
Like, I want to
that?
do this, but I am still upset.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then too, one thing I do feel like we have to address is the statistics when it comes to women and sexual satisfaction. So we got a little bit of statistics.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So how it breaks down: 62% of women always orgasm during masturbation. That seemed kind of low to me, but
Right.
like, sis, what are you doing?
What are you?
It's you.
You're in control, unless you unless you don't know your body, and a lot of women don't.
And
So-
I found that out because I'm actually in a black women's sensuality group.
Okay.
And it's a lot of women that are like, I don't even do it because it doesn't work for me. And I'm like, how? How, sis?
it's a lot of stigma around it too.
That too. Because when you're told all your life to be pure and holy and your body is a temple, which, I mean, it is.
It is.
I feel like you kind of, it makes it harder to find out what you like and to
Right.
actually explore different things because
We're always taught to please the man, but
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of women fake it, right?
Yeah.
a
So
lot.
Yeah.
We gonna get into that.
Right.
Okay, so it says 34% of women always orgasm during oral sex.
Oh.
34%.
Oh, that's low.
I feel like it's lower.
No.
Like, that ain't how it is for me. But
That is low. Yeah.
I don't know what your
34.
man doing, but that's low as hell.
Yeah.
Okay, and then even lower, 27% of women always orgasm during intercourse where the penis enters the vagina. So actual penetration. So only
Right.
Only what?
27% of women.
That actually
always.
makes sense. That makes sense. That was going to be my question because with the first one, I was like, well, what kind of orgasm are we talking about?
There's different
Because
ones.
women, we can have different orgasms.
Very
so,
much so.
yeah, if we have sex and then I just give myself my own orgasm, I guess I could count in the first statistic.
Does it count?
But does it count if I don't get one from our intercourse? Or I guess
you didn't
the
really
penetration.
I mean, you was there.
Yeah, I was there. I was.
But you know, I think
was a
we don't
participant.
direct them either. I think
Yeah.
a lot of communication in bed is important.
I think so. I've said that before. I think I said that on like a previous episode where we were talking about Odell Beckham and we were talking about what he likes in the bedroom.
Okay.
And we kind of got into that question and BJ was asking like, so how do you ask somebody to do certain things? And I'm like, if you're not comfortable enough to ask, you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean?
That's
So
a good
you
point.
gotta have that level of comfortability with somebody and that communication. Because I feel like when you're in a committed relationship, it gets better because you feel comfortable being like, I don't like
let's
that.
try this.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
that didn't work for me. Let's, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I asked. I was dating someone a while back, and I asked. I was like, what do you like? And he was like, what? I'm just like, dang. So you don't even know what you like. You just want to just pound me, and like think that like that's all
That's
you
enough.
know. And it's
It's also what they see. So, like, because if you look at porn, it's just like, get in a bed, and you know, I mean, it's
That
just
ain't
like
it.
this very, and there is no communication. There is no, yeah.
And sometimes slower is better.
Come
Like, I don't
on
think
now.
guys like know that all the time. It's like, hey, slow down.
Chill.
Like, I'm still here.
So hard. Like,
I don't feel it any different. Like,
you honestly just maybe lose the sensation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm speaking for me because everybody,
Yeah.
some people, they like that.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't knocking nobody.
It's always a time for it. Like,
Right.
go slow. Okay.
Right.
Go low.
And if I could give the fellas any tips, advice, if she says she about to be there, don't go harder or don't try to switch it up. Keep doing what you was
Stay right.
already doing.
Yeah.
That's what got her where she was at.
Yeah.
And for her to say, "Hey, stop!" Like keep going. Like
Right.
that's a lot already for us to be like, okay, right there, because we want to please you too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if she say that,
Listen,
stay right there. I don't care if you finna catch a cramp, Charlie horse. You gotta do what you gotta do, okay?
Right. Finish the job.
because ours may
Finish the
take a
job.
little
Finish
time
it.
to get there.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing, like for us, I think I was reading somewhere where it said it would take like at least like 20 minutes or something like that. And it to be able to do 20 minutes of the same thing for guys,
Exactly.
I mean, I understand that's kind of hard.
Right.
You don't want to switch.
You
your
want me to
challenge.
be satisfied too, right?
Yeah.
So you
Put in
better
that work.
put in the work. Don't just think if you could just go right at it.
Yeah.
Can you give me some floor play?
I was about to say that too, because you gotta work up to it. Like, and I
Right.
know like girls like to be like, I'm always ready. I stay okay. That's cute.
Good. Okay.
I'm grown. Okay,
Right.
I don't care if I'm ready or not.
Yeah.
I still want that, extra effort.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, come on now. Like, I don't know. I really want to help the guys out, but I want to help. I want to help myself out more than I'm trying to.
Yeah, because those numbers are low.
Yeah. They
That's
are.
somebody lying.
No.
I don't know.
No,
I mean, they seem low, but I think it's because women are going to be more honest
Mm-hmm.
in a poll versus
that is true.
what they make.
Right.
That
Right.
is true.
Like, and then some people don't even have mates that care. Like I said, I was in that group, and it was women that are like, man, he only wants to do missionary. He refuses to do anything else. And I'm like, it's 2021.
Yeah.
Let's try new things.
Right, and they're still in the relationships. That's why I'm like, some of the stuff that I read, I'm like, fellas, y'all be complaining,
Right.
but it's women that are really in relationships that
Yeah.
are not sexually satisfied, but y'all act like y'all can't not cheat.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How does that work?
How does it work?
How that work? All right, so let's get on to the next questions. Wait, let me pull it back up. Okay, so what we got next? Thank you, G Focus on the side. All right, so let's get into the questions from the fellas, because they had some really, and they had better questions than what I actually thought they would have.
Okay.
So shout out to the Reverb Nation fellas, because y'all impressed me. Some of y'all didn't, but I ain't gonna say no names.
Let's get it on.
So the first question that we have from the Reverb Nation fellas is this is from one of the ladies. So how can women deal with mental health and discipline? Is that it?
Mental health?
Mental health? So
Mental health
help.
and discipline.
mental health and discipline?
Discipline? About just,
About like what though?
well,
It's kind of vague.
mental health.
That is kind of vague.
Discipline.
Well, maybe more so on the lines of like how we could reach out or things that we can do
Sure.
for,
Okay.
for
When we
mental
need
health
help?
and
Oh,
to
mental
become
health,
more,
okay.
yeah, for like mental
Yeah.
help and more so like
Mm.
discipline. So like, what are some of the things that we can do?
I think realizing that we can do it all, but we shouldn't have to do it all.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
a big one.
I think like for me, it's hard for me to ask for help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm one of 8. I'm one of 9, and I'm the second oldest. But I feel like I have to be brother, sister, mama, like to everybody. And then it's like, who's taking care of me? So I think therapy has helped me a lot. And it's like, you have a voice, use it. Like ask for help. You can't do it all.
And don't feel bad about it.
Don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Because I be trying to do it all for everybody else, and then scared to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, I think, we have to acknowledge there's a problem. I think we have to acknowledge whether it's brokenness or trauma or whatever, that we have an issue first. That's the first step. And then, like you said, I think seeking some sort of mental health services, whether that's therapy or, I don't know. There's a lot. I kind of tuned into different like YouTube videos
Nice.
of just
It
different
works.
things like meditation and Zen stuff and listen to this thing and this inspirational thing, positive thing. So sometimes there's things like that. Yeah. Just kind of surrounding yourself with positivity can bring you out of a negative space. So
I think so too. For me, I've gotten more into journaling because I feel like that's the best way for me to self-reflect.
Yeah.
Because I have so many thoughts going through my mind that actually just giving myself the option to write it down on paper, really how I'm feeling, especially about like certain goals and stuff like that. I really get to see where I am and where I can either reach out for help or where I can do better. I feel like it helps me with discipline too. Yeah. Because I self-reflect, I get to see where I'm at, and then I get to see sometimes it's not me just needing to do better. Sometimes it's me needing to ask somebody for help. Also, affirmations. I like to listen to music when I get ready, but sometimes I just listen to affirmations. You know what I mean? Like that's your time where you're in the mirror, you're doing your hair, you're doing your makeup or whatever. And if you're listening to affirmations, you're internalizing that as you're looking at yourself. And I feel like that has made a big difference for me too, of course, with therapy. One thing I do want to say about therapy is I feel like people need to realize that it's not as simple as just reaching out, because I've gone through a few therapists. You really have to just find somebody that works for you. Even like with if you do go the route of medication, I feel like that people don't talk about how like it really could take like 3 months before you really have it in your system to where you see a difference. And then if you get one that doesn't work for you, then you feel like, dang, I'm starting all over again. Right. You know what I mean? So just being honest with your doctors and your therapist, because you could go, but if you want to if you want to have some actual progress, you got to be honest. And I'll tell them in a minute, I don't like this. This is not working for me. And at first I wouldn't. At first I'd be like, oh, well, maybe I'm just the one person that this isn't going to work for. But you got to say something.
Because there's other people going through the same
thing. And I noticed that more when I started being more vocal about it and people started reaching out to me, that I'm like, it ain't just me. It is not just me. And as Black women, we kind of feel like we have to have, like, I used to be like, dang, my Black woman strong gene just, it skipped me. Like, what's wrong with mine? Like, why is everybody else able to do all this stuff and I'm over here struggling? But really, they were struggling too. They were struggling too. And you just gotta acknowledge that as Black women.
And you're the only one to reach out and be like, hey, I think I need some extra help in this area.
And find you a good tribe. I know it's hard. I know it's hard out here. I ain't gonna say it's easy, but find you a good tribe of other Black women that you could.
That is true. It's hard to make friends. In your older age.
It is. It is.
We here right now.
You're my friend. Okay.
Y'all my friend. Okay. I'm officially adding y'all.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I feel like Black women need that. Like we need, like, because it seems like a lot of divide and a lot of hate sometimes. And you're just like, I want to be her friend, but like, I don't know.
We're told that, oh, women can't be friends. Like, we're always told that the women are catty and they can't be friends and they're petty and this and that. So I feel like we internalize that when we're going into situations and meeting other women, we kind of already on guard, like, is she gonna be sis or she gonna be
right?
That's true. You never know.
And it's I try to get out of that mindset and just go into it with just a clean slate. And I mean, it goes where it goes.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it is easier said than done, because after you've been through a couple
and you're
of
just
situations,
like hurt. It's just like,
I don't trust.
Especially when you like those long friendships. Like, I thought you was gonna be like the one.
Right.
It's hard. Like, that's why I think I really loved that last season of Insecure, where they kind of went through the friendship breakup, because I'm like, it's real. And that's real. Worse than
and then your own friend don't want to see you do good. That's crazy.
Right.
Just like,
that season was low-key triggering.
It was. That Insecure is just triggering all around.
Right. I am triggered because it was crazy, because there's so many times where I felt like I was on the side, either one of their sides. I can see, like, I've been on that side of it. I've had that point of view of it. You know what I mean? And I think we always look at ourselves in the highest esteem, obviously.
Yeah.
And we always feel like, you know, we're right, but sometimes we're not.
Yeah.
You know, I think we got to look at ourselves and say,
I was wrong.
at the end of the day, even if I wasn't wrong, there was still a role that I played.
Right.
And you got to be able to accept that.
Be accountable. Yeah.
Be accountable.
And that's where communication comes in again.
Right.
Like, just like in a bedroom, like in a friendship.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Same
thing.
A relationship is a relationship.
Yeah.
And they
Period,
all take work, whether it's a friendship, your sisters, you know, all of that. It still takes work. People think just because you family, it's going to be all. No, you still got to put work into those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you still have to sometimes let those relationships go too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
To see, Season.
All right. We got some, we got some
I also
gems
want to
going
piggyback
on.
back off that, like, trying to find a therapist. It's really hard. Like, I went through 6 before I got to this one, and now she, like, raising her prices, right? So, like, it's going to be $200 at the end of this year, and I'm like, we might got to break up.
Right. Damn.
Unless
You know what? That's another thing too. Is if you want to find a black therapist, a lot of times you do have to pay out of pocket.
I'm paying out of pocket.
Yep.
My
You
insurance
got to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Because if you go through Kaiser, they're gonna have like
I have a lot of things.
And then if you think just because like they're black that it's gonna work out, that's not always it too. So if they only got 1 or 2 and them ones don't work out, it's like, okay.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it works for each season, right? Because in college, I started therapy. I don't know what made me go, but like freshman year to my senior year, I was in therapy, but I had a white lady, and she worked for me at that time. But now I have a black therapist, so you know, it might.
I had a white therapist, and I really, honestly, and that's the thing, like, I definitely understand people want to go to somebody that looks like them, but I learned so much about myself because you don't have to have a black therapist. I know that we do want one, of course, because I know for a lot of us that makes us feel more comfortable, but she taught me so much about the superwoman complex with black women and stuff like that I didn't even, it opened my eyes to a lot. So, I mean, you don't have to limit yourself, but do whatever makes you comfortable and be honest about it. Be honest with yourself if it ain't working out.
Yep, because I walked in one place and was like, this is not going to work out. I was there for 4 months. And every time I went there, I was like, ugh. And then I had another black therapist, and she got too familiar with me. I was like, I am your patient. Like, I'm not your friend. And the first red flag when she was like, oh, one of her friends was her patient. I was just like, that was a red flag to me. Do you want friends or are you trying to work? Like, so
yeah, sometimes get you too comfortable.
Like, cause she was doing this, and I was like, I'm paying you.
Why you getting at me?
Yeah, I'm like, but I don't know what to do about this guy, and she was just like, you should leave him. But can we talk about why?
Right.
I want
biased.
That's what I'm saying. You got to go through it, and you got to find, especially because you paying. This is your money.
That's
right.
Your money.
And
I was traveling for her.
Oh, really?
I lived in Oakland. She was in Benicia.
Oh, no. Come on.
Gas too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely important, and it's definitely a process. So don't get discouraged. Don't give up, because at the end of the day, you will be essentially giving up on yourself.
Yeah.
So don't get discouraged. Just keep pushing.
Absolutely.
Period.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So now the next question is from one of the fellas, and his question was, if you had a son and built him into the perfect man, what qualities would he possess? I thought that was a good question. I was like, okay.
That is a good question.
Come on, fellas. I'll let y'all ponder on it for a minute. I'm going to just shout my husband out and say I would want my son to be just like him.
Oh, yay.
Where he at?
You know. Well, without talking back to me and getting, you know what I'm saying? You know, a little bit more respectful, because, you know, he always got something smart. He can't help it. He's one of those people that he's honest. And that's one of the things I love about him. But then it's like, come on now.
Yeah.
You could have, you know, at least tried to sugarcoat it a little bit.
Soften the blow. Okay?
Can I get a little bit?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely for me, honesty. I want him to be honest. I want him to be respectful
Sure.
of all people. Definitely respectful of women.
Yeah.
That's big for me.
Yeah.
And I would want him to truly love himself as a black man, aside from what society tells him he has to be, and what being a man is, and what, you know what I mean, those pressures. I definitely would want him to be independent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? An independent thinker. You know, not just one of, you know, the fellas that just follow along with what everybody else is doing. Like, I really admire that about, especially the men on the pod. I gotta shout them out: Raggio, G Focus, BJ. Just they're independent thinkers. They ain't gonna stand on what they say, and they stand for something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whether I agree with everything they stand for or not, but they stand for something. I can respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I definitely would want that.
I would add on all of that. I would want my son to be a good listener.
Yes.
Not just for, you know, in a relationship, but just as a good life skill. I think many of us, it's a skill I'm working on as well, need to be better listeners and actually understand people. To be adaptable as well. Like, I would want my son to be able to feel comfortable in different scenarios, situations, environments, around different people.
Yes.
And still, like you said, have a strong sense of who he is.
Yes.
Right. And then I would probably say on top of that, some sort of, I don't know, financial literacy or something.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just for kids in general. I mean, I think I could learn some. I mean, I'm just throwing things out there, but yeah.
We definitely making sure of that.
Right.
For sure.
For me, I think communication. Like, I want him to be able to communicate his feelings and feel like, hey, like, if I'm hurting, I can talk to this person, like, anybody. Like, don't hold it in, because, like, it's only going to hurt you. So I want him to be able to communicate his feelings, just communicate overall. I want him to be open-minded, too. I don't want him, like, if you're not open-minded, a lot of stress comes with that, because you worried about everybody else. Worry about yourself. Like,
no, for real.
Yeah, like, when you open-minded, you're like, this is that person's life. Hey, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So I'm gonna be my own man, and just be like a confident in himself. That's important. Absolutely. I want him to just, like you said, like, be in his own lane. You don't have to follow your friends all the time.
Exactly.
Like, that's how you stand out, and you want to stand out. You don't want to be like everybody else. So
to your point too. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, because I was thinking what you said was so deep about having his idea of who he is as a black man, that may not correlate to what Kevin Samuel says,
right,
or what I say, or what so and so says, or what you know. And there's a lot of different imagery out of Barack Obama is the black man you should be, or maybe Future is the black man you should be. Whatever it is, depending on who you talk to. But at the end of the day, what does that mean for you? What does your identity mean for you? So I feel like that was really deep. What you said.
I think it's important, especially right now with social media and all of, like you said, all of the different influences. I understand the frustration of parents that are trying to parent during a time when there's so many outside influences, because our parents didn't necessarily have, you know what I mean? Like, they was like, what we said in this house is what goes, and we didn't get on the internet and somebody else telling us, nah.
Right. No, it's true.
So, I mean, I do got a lot of respect, and again, it's just a different time. So it's like parents have to parent different to be able to instill those things in your kid. It's different, you know. And I know a lot of times our parents be like, oh, well, we did this and we had,
like, we're not there no more.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Right.
Did y'all have internet?
Right. No. Let's start there.
Man. And it's like 24/7 access. I feel the same way, like the 24/7 access to what's going on everywhere. Not just what's going on in your neighborhood, in your, family, but what's going on everywhere, what everybody else is doing. I feel the same way about, like, having 24/7 access to all the trauma. It's like, man, sometimes you just gotta really unplug.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we have so much.
So much.
And I think another thing I want to say was I want my son to be decisive. Like, you're not going to always know what you want. So be open to new experiences. But my grandpa always says a double-minded man is unstable in his ways. And I, like, really believe that.
No,
And
that's
so, like, I don't know. That'll always stick with me. So I would definitely want him to be decisive.
Absolutely.
Man, that's one thing I'm not. But I definitely want my son. I try to be.
Right.
Don't ask me what I want to eat.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because I'm going to ask you.
Right.
What you want to eat?
Right.
Well, I mean,
Give me options.
Right.
Give me 3 options. I'll choose.
Exactly.
Okay, so next question. This one is, why do you treat every relationship the same? You know people change, right? That seems
This
kind of
sounds
like
personal.
right.
This was specifically
Like-
for somebody.
Right. I know.
Get off on who you mad at.
Right.
Can you read it one more time?
Why
It
do
says,
you treat-
why do you treat every relationship the same? You know people change, right?
And I want to say for this person, like, are you treating this same? Like, are you treating all your relationships the same? Because are you communicating? How you know I'm treating them all the same?
Right.
You're not talking to me if you just assume that. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, okay. Let me have an accountable moment. I'll be accountable. I will say that it's not that when I've dated men, I'm thinking of Joe and I meet, Bob, and I'm thinking, well, I want John, exactly, right? But I might have experienced or had an expectation set because of a previous relationship. Like, maybe he always bought me flowers every Sunday. Maybe he always opened doors. Maybe he whatever, bought me a Birkin, whatever it may be.
Okay.
And then I get with this guy, I might have that. I might be thinking, where are the flowers at least on the first date or something, something like that.
Right.
So, of course, if that person, though, is still showing up, they're respectful, they're loving, they're putting their best foot forward. You should, of course, treat each relationship individually, right? And respect what that person brings to the table. But I will say that I think I always have in my mind what I may have experienced with somebody else, and I may be expecting it a little bit going in. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think too, like, it's kind of hard because people say learn from your experiences, but then I'm supposed to go into a situation and forget my past experiences. Like, I understand. I feel like there's a fine line between giving somebody a clean slate and being naive to what you've already, like, patterns that you've already seen. So I feel like it's not necessarily, oh, this person did this, so I'm going to assume that you're going to do that. But if I start seeing the same type of patterns that led to things that I didn't like, I'm more aware now because I've already been through this before. So I'm like, I recognize patterns. I'm not saying that you him. I'm just recognizing some of the same patterns.
Yeah,
Let's try to, and I know with us, we're going to try to nip it in the bud. I know for me.
Yeah,
I'm going to be like, I don't like that. The first time I was with somebody, I may have just kind of overlooked it.
Yeah.
But now I know
Now I'm
better,
asking
and now I know to speak up, or I know
yeah.
to voice how I feel. So I don't think that's necessarily treating every relationship the same.
And I think it's on us to ask the question too. Like, ask, like, if we feel that way, like, communicate, like, hey, I like flowers.
Right. True. Very true.
And do what you may. I expect
With that information.
Right.
But at least I voiced it to you.
Yes.
So, like, so I think it's on us to, like, start communicating too, so they can communicate back. Not
Because
saying that men aren't
they're
good
not psychics, so we do have
they
to
can't
say
read our
something.
minds.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. So it's not me saying you got to be this person. It's me saying I know what I want now, or I know what I don't want now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak up for myself.
Yeah.
I think I think that's the issue that most men have, is that women are more vocal now more than ever. I feel like we not finna just
Sit around. I'm gonna ask you questions.
we're not gonna sit here and feel like, oh, I'm just so glad somebody want to be with me, so I'm gonna just try to do everything and be quiet and not try to step on no toes. Nah.
Yeah.
It didn't work in the past, so I gotta do something different.
Man, you have to. And I feel like they tell us, like, oh, men can't read minds. Okay,
We can't
I'm
either.
gonna say something.
There we go.
And then the next thing they're gonna say is, well, it's how you say it.
Right.
That's the
Right. You can't win. I mean, you can't. I mean, yeah.
It's how you said it. It was the tone.
Yeah.
It was the man of your neck.
It was the tone.
Like,
Right. And you know what I think too? Sometimes with situations like that, it just may not. Cause I've done the tone, like I've done the hey baby, hey king,
Talk
hey,
to
could you perchance maybe you know, give me a flower, you know, whatever, right? And then they don't do it. So you're like, okay. So then you try again. You raise the tone, and then at some point you're like, damn, you don't, whatever it may be, right?
Oh,
so
I've
then
been there,
on some
sis.
things too, it's like you're just not gonna get a thing from a person, you know.
I
And
tell my husband that all the time because sometimes I feel like, okay, I've tried this a couple times in the little, the nice tone. Then I'm like, dang, I feel like I don't never get no results until I be like, look,
Be loud.
I asked you last week. Like, you know, why I gotta do all this? I didn't want to do this.
Right.
But I didn't get you didn't move. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 weeks later.
Right.
And if I saw at that point, then sometimes you get to the point that, like, I want this done now. Let me just start at that point.
Yeah.
I ain't even gonna build up.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Like, let's just start there so this can get done today.
Right,
Like, but it shouldn't have to
right.
be all that.
No,
so
shouldn't.
I think men need to take that into consideration. Like, if she's coming at you with the little nice baby,
Right.
that should be motivation to be like, oh damn, let me do this so
Yeah.
that she can come at me like this every time.
Right.
And man, when you listen the first time, like life is so much better.
So much. So much better. Yeah.
It is.
I agree.
And that's why I'm like, and I don't be want to be like, if you would've just did what I said, but
Yeah, because
if
you don't want to
would've
start an
just
argument at that point.
Right.
You're like, look, let me. That like I hold like I am so different now in relationships. It's crazy because now I'm just like that rah didn't work.
Yeah.
Because I was like that, and I calmed down a lot.
Yeah.
But then don't get me there. Don't bring me back because I wanna
Right.
change. Like that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you nice.
Yes,
You know? I
yes.
don't want to be a bitch.
Right.
I think sometimes, in some ways, black men are kind of used to that in a way because,
The
I mean,
loudness.
especially if they're raised by black women, usually that's kind of like, because I see it a lot, like, with kids that I'm around. Like, they don't listen when you just kind of, like,
Talk to
calm
them
with it.
nice.
But as soon as you get loud, it's like, dang, why?
Yeah.
And I feel like they kind of get accustomed to that. They're like, oh, she's not really tripping, so I'm going to just do
That's
what
a
I
good
want to do
point.
until it's urgent. And it's not urgent until somebody is mad.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, come on,
Right.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do y'all-
Why do we have to get to that?
Why we gotta get to that?
That point.
But yeah, so man, just keep that in mind.
Right.
When you judging us on how we acting in these relationships, look inward. 'Cause
Right.
We're
Yes.
sitting here looking inward,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
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 All right, so next question. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, this is a long one.
Oh, okay.
This is a
story
long
time or
Story time.
All right.
So the question is, women, why is it that you have the courage to go after jobs, experiences, and everything else except for a man? Y'all be single forever, want a partner, but don't go get one. Why are you sitting around and not taking the chance to go get him?
Let's get it on.
Who hurt you?
I know.
That's the question that we asking back. Because this is specific.
Who hurt you? I want to know.
I mean,
Dang,
don't
and
know.
you can't
I
even
mean, there's so
condense that
many-
because after he
Right.
said, I didn't hear the question.
Okay, I'll read it again. It says, why do women have the courage to go after jobs, experiences, and everything else, but not a man? So y'all be single forever, want a partner, but don't go get one. Why are you sitting around and not taking the chance to go get him?
How do you
So
suggest I go get him?
how should I?
Give me the answers.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be hopping in DMs?
And you should want
Right.
me. I'm going after my career and all that. Like, shoot your shot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if. Well, okay. So one, women, most of us are told, get your education, do well, get a job, be self-sufficient. At least, you know, that's how. So we have that going on, which is going to be going on regardless of whether we're with a man or not. We have our own expectation of what we should be doing, right? In terms of just wanting to go and get a man, I mean, what? I mean, doesn't make any sense. Would you, let me ask, I guess I would ask this person, would you want a woman to come out and just pursue you? And just spend all her efforts? She quits her job. She quit school to just go and find a man. I mean, does that even make any sense?
And then do you want her after that when she does
right?
that?
And then
because then you're gonna be complaining about she ain't got her own.
Come on now. She after my money. She worried about what I got.
Right.
I feel like in today's age, I do feel like women definitely more so will, you know, approach men. But I don't know exactly what you would want from a woman. What do you want us to do? That's kind of like what would us pursuing a man look like to you?
Right. That's a great question.
Because, I mean, other than, I don't know.
Yeah. Because women do. We do shoot our shots. I've shot a couple shots, you know.
I mean, but I have some friends that be claiming they shot, and I'm like, sis, you just stared at him for 2 minutes.
No,
like,
that'd be me.
But
I know. I walked past them. And he
didn't do nothing, so I walked away.
We made eye contact, and he didn't come over here. So
no, that's not shooting a shot.
I don't know. I feel like men and women definitely probably are, I won't say scared of rejection, but rejection it sucks.
It sucks.
Like it's nobody wants to be rejected, but I feel like since traditionally we have not been the nobody told us like, okay, well, if you want a man, go do this. Like I feel like men, when they're raised, they're kind of told or told by their elders or they big homies or whatever. You know what I mean? They get the game on how to get women. Yeah, we don't have that same type of.
That's a good point.
Because we're always taught, let him pursue you.
Right.
And that, but I get it. Like for some men, it is hard. Like it's not easy. Like I'm sure they shoot their shots 100 times and get rejected. So
yeah,
I do feel for that part. Like I understand. But. Yeah.
I wonder too if this person, it does make me think of Kevin Samuels, not to jump ahead, but there is something that Kevin Samuels says that black women, we spend all this Kevin Samuels we spend all our time on education, getting our degree, getting whatever. So we're sitting, and then by that point though, we're like, let's say 28, 30, whatever, danger zone as he calls it. I'm in the danger zone according to Kevin Samuels. We've got all the things, the money, the degree, but we have no partner. So we're, you know, at this age now, and we're looking for somebody, but then we're not, don't want to put in the effort, or we're not a good mate at that point. This is Kevin Samuels, as I said. So I don't know. I guess I could see that. I would be curious to know a statistic on, I think I would want to know how many black women are married, statistically, and then how many black women are unmarried, but are educated, right? Or, you know, make 6 figures or something. Like, I don't know. I would just want to know, but
I think that because I follow a lot of, you know, successful women, and a lot of them say the same thing, like about as far as being educated and making the type of money that they make, that a lot of the men, once they get up to that level, either are intimidated, or the men that are actually on the level, like the same level or above, don't want the type of women that they are. So if they're more so like curvy, like they're looking for younger women. To me, that a lot of times are more impressionable, because of course if you're, you know, older, you're educated, you got some experience, you're not as moldable as they would want, because you know what I mean, they want somebody young that they could just mold to a lot of times be arm candy. So it puts you at a disadvantage, because even if you do date quote unquote down, then you run the risk of somebody being intimidated or feeling like, you know what I mean?
I mean, and I think too, in terms of, I don't know, I don't know if I'm sure there's a statistic, but I think for black men and women, we do tend to get paid. Well, we get higher up or something, like our career, we tend to have more, I don't know, careers, whatever, degrees, whatever. So I think, like, if you are a black woman, I don't have a degree really, but I'm 28, and if I make however much money I make, and then I have a degree. What is the likelihood I'm going to find a black man at my age, at 28, who's making the same amount or more? Because like you said, it's going to come down to that intimidation, that insecurity, and you don't want to be with a man who feels, you don't want your man to feel insecure. You don't want to be like, yeah, baby, I got the bill again. Don't you worry. Yeah, baby, I'm doing all the bills. Yeah, and I don't think anybody want to feel like that, right?
No.
So I don't know. It's like, then do you date older? Do you date an older man if you're trying to find somebody
A lot of them don't got jobs either.
I mean, we do see that a lot. That, you know, we do tend to date older men, but sometimes that's just the hand that we're dealt.
Yeah.
I know from what I was seeing from one of the young ladies that I was talking to, was she was saying that it wasn't necessarily like her, you know, getting the bill and stuff like that. It was what she was able to do for herself. So it's like, okay, she could afford to buy herself a Birkin, and she could afford to buy, you know what I mean, take herself on these trips. And then, of course, as a man, if you're not able to do that, then it's like, oh, you don't need me. You know what I mean? Men start to kind of feel like that, or they don't necessarily put in the same kind of effort because they're like, well, this little gift that I'm going to be able to get you ain't going to compare to what you could get for yourself.
Yeah.
Depends on the woman, too. Like, I like thoughtful gifts.
Yeah.
You don't got to buy me a Birkin.
It ain't
Right.
right.
A little poem. Give me a
But,
poem.
you know, I'm not going to not buy myself or do nice things for myself because I'm like, oh, I don't want him to feel the way that I'm able to buy myself.
And that's where that confidence in your son comes in, because it's like, okay, she does make more than me, but I love that about the person I'm with. He's confident in his woman making more.
Right.
So,
I mean, usually, like you said, it is usually going to be the case. All right, well, we got one more. Oh, we got one more question. Hold on.
lengthy.
Okay, so this one was actually from one of the ladies from the group, but she wanted our perspective. So, our perspective on why do men contradict themselves with what they want and what they need, especially in relationships. Why do we think men contradict themselves in relationships about what they want and what they need?
I think, like I said earlier, some men are really influenced by their friends. And I think what their friend has, sometimes they want, and it's like, well, what do you want in a relationship? Right? Like, are you just, you want that because you see it?
Right.
Or do you, you know, I feel like your friends are an influence
Definitely
too.
influence.
Especially for men. I mean, for women too, but, you know.
Because men always clown each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could be in a good, healthy relationship, and we're going to be, like, happy for, like, you know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh, man.
He in love.
Right. Like, they're not going to get the same kind of...
True. Yeah. I feel like, you know, I feel like for women, we have more outlets to be, it's going to be kind of I'm going to get to but like, we have more outlets for... When someone's contradicting themselves on what they want, that's somebody who doesn't understand themselves. That's my opinion. So I think women, we have more outlets and tools to understand ourselves, whether we feel or it's more acceptable for us to be like, I'm going to therapy, you know, I'm listening to this self-help book, right? For men, it's not always the same. So even from when they're young, right? So then, or there's no outlet for them to really say how they feel or how something is impacting them or whatever it may be. So then you get into a relationship with a grown man who doesn't actually really understand himself and what doesn't work for him. So you might be getting someone going, yeah, baby, sometimes I love you and sometimes I don't. Or sometimes I like this and sometimes, you know, whatever it may be. That's what I would assume is where that contradiction comes from. It's just somebody not really knowing who they are.
I think, too, like, I feel like a lot of men know what they want, but aren't always necessarily ready for what they really want. So they kind of like straddle the fence. Like, I do want these things, but I still want to do this too. Right. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's that contradiction that of what they want and what they want to do.
Yes.
It don't be matching up.
Right.
Like, yeah, I don't want to put nobody on blast from previous episodes, but it was like a obvious contradiction to be like, oh, I'm like hella affectionate in relationships, but I don't want a relationship.
Oh, Right. Oh.
Don't be looking at me.
Yeah.
Like, that don't make no sense. Like, if you're saying I'm super affectionate, I'm this, I'm all these things, but I don't want a relationship though. But that's basically what you explained was a relationship, bro.
Right. I don't get it. I think that's kind of like we that's like that talking phase, right? Where we done talked for 3 years. Like, yeah, we just cool, we just friends, but we having sex. You met my mom. We doing this. And so a lot of women, we deal with that. Does tend to happen. There's a very repeat occurrence of men doing the straddling of yeah, I'm seeing this one girl, I really like her, but I don't want the label, or I just want to do me. Can you just let me do me? What is that? Okay. Can we leave that behind in 2021?
But we doing us.
Right. But then they'd be mad if
time.
we do. So then, okay, by that rule, if you doing you, okay, then I'm going to do me. They don't like that. They want you to be kind of exclusive to them while they figure out what it is they want. And it's just like, that doesn't.
And then they'll say like, oh, I'm cool with you doing, we both doing us. Mm-hmm. Do you and see what happens. Right. Do you for real and see what happens.
They don't like
Let's see the response.
Right.
I think the idea is like the grass is not always greener on the other side. Like when you have a good thing, you should notice it.
Period.
Hey. Yep.
And don't be trying to make it wait. Don't be trying to put it on the back burner and do what you want to do. Like, I feel like if you really feel like you're not ready for that, just cut it all the way off.
Yeah.
But I feel like men can't really sit with the fact that if I cut it off, it might for real be gone.
Right.
It might not be there when I'm ready. So I'm going to just keep stringing it.
Yep. But if we break the cycle, I think it's going to come, they'll keep doing it. Yeah. It's just anybody will keep doing it if you let them. So and I'm saying this to myself. You have to break.
Preaching to me.
I know, preaching to me. You have to break the cycle and say, no, I won't.
This.
I'm not doing it.
I ain't doing it no more.
Yeah.
That's true. I remember when me and my husband were first dating in college, and we was talking for like 3 months, which I mean ain't long, but in college, like, bro, what we doing? Like, it's hella people here. I could be.
Yeah.
And so, like, I finally, like, I think we were going home for Christmas break, and I was like, you know what? When I come back from Christmas break, I'm starting with a clean slate. Or anybody I was talking to before, I'm not talking to them no more. Because I gave y'all all of this whole beginning of this semester. I'm finna be. And all of a sudden, he was like, you want to be my girlfriend? Once I cut it off and was like, I'm gone, I'm finna do me. Yep. He couldn't take it no more.
Right.
He was like, oh, let me lock this down because she really doing her out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, gonna hurt.
Right. And I think the man for you will say, oh, shit, I'm going to lock it down. And the man that's not for you will say, oh, okay.
Bye.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
True.
And then there you go.
I think sometimes we don't really want that answer because
right,
because it's like, okay, well, if I cut it off and he still don't come after me, then damn. But
right.
I mean, I'd rather have that answer and move on about my life.
I would rather know.
Yep.
Instead of trying to convince somebody
that I'm the one.
That I'm popping.
Right.
Okay.
No. We're not doing that. No more. No.
All right, so those are some really good questions. I really appreciate everybody that submitted a question on the Reverb Nation. I feel like we could keep this conversation going. So make sure y'all subscribe to the Reverb Nation group because it's a lot more we could talk about on these subjects.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And see what everybody got to say about what we had to say. Okay.
Right.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and get into the internet wins again.
Let's get it on.
And as we know, the internet always got something going on. Like we said, 24/7 information highway.
Right.
Keep going.
So I'm like, there's not an episode that goes by that we ain't got something to talk about. So first thing we are going to get into is date invoices. So this is going to lead into a bigger conversation, but the basis of it is there was a situation where a guy went out on a date with a woman and things didn't work out for whatever reason, and he sent her an invoice for everything that he paid for on their date. So the flowers, the dinner, you got 2 drinks.
Whoa. Just petty.
Petty. So...
Was it a cash app? Did he request it?
Like, I don't know. Right. This is for the flowers.
Cash app request. So
Wow.
on top of that, there was another situation where a guy kept his receipt.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically showed his receipt and was like, I think he spent about $150. And he was like, she gonna be giving me head all week or something like that because he spent $150.
Right.
So with seeing all that, my question for you ladies was, have you ever felt pressured after someone spends money on you to then have either sexual relations with them or to keep a relationship going with them because they spent money, even if you didn't necessarily like hit it off? You know, like, oh well, he spent his money, I should give him my time. Either one.
Yeah.
Okay, I never felt pressure to have sex. Like, you just wasn't coming back to my house.
Right.
Like,
I mean, bye.
yeah, like it was
had a
cool.
good
And then
time.
like, and I meet guys. Usually, I meet guys at the place. Y'all not you're not gonna know where I stay.
Yeah.
Right.
My grandma told me that she was like on a first date.
My
don't-
mom told me the same thing.
You meet him there.
Drive your own car.
Right.
All that.
Right.
So
It's
I
like the
could,
old
if I
school.
don't like it, I'm peace out. You not coming up here.
Yeah.
So you know, and it goes off like if I like I hate the vibe, but like if the word vibe,
It's overused now.
But if I have this connection, maybe like I don't know. It just you play it by ear because we know we got women's
Yeah.
intuition. Like,
Exactly.
this one not right,
This
but
ain't
I'm
the
gonna
one.
try it because we always trying.
yeah, we
Right.
always give
We
extra
always
chances.
we always giving the
If we
benefit
cut- if we
of the
cut
doubt.
you off, it really ain't it because I feel like whether they give us credit for it or not, we really do.
We
be
do.
trying to,
He trash, but let me try.
I know.
Like, he ordered his steak well done, but I'm gonna let him it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We be seeing certain stuff, and we be like, I'm gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
Then we be letting too much slide.
Right.
Then they start figure skating. You can't.
Then you can't come back. Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I feel like, you know what? It's part of I feel like that's why I said it's petty. It's part of the game. It's like, it's the
Yeah.
dating game.
It is
Yeah.
a dating game.
It's just part of what it is. And I guess it's a tradition. It is a tradition that if you want to approach a woman, you approach her. The expectation is get her at least paid the meal, flowers and all that, and a
Yeah.
horse
Yeah.
ride or whatever. I
Didn't
mean,
ask for all that.
you didn't have to do all that.
That's
That's
first
okay.
thing.
Right. But essentially
But it's
what
nice.
this is it's just like she didn't sleep with him. At the end of the day, if she would have slept with him, he wouldn't have invoiced her. I'm assuming.
Come on.
I don't think he invoiced her because he didn't like the sex. You know, like
Right.
it's because she
Right.
didn't sleep with him.
Exactly.
Essentially, I just feel like it's part of it. I mean, it's just part of dating. I guess it's the risk that
It's a
you
risk you
take.
take.
But I also think be realistic here.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to. Sure, maybe not the first date should be, you know, In and Out or Taco Bell, but it doesn't have to be a 5-star Michelin
Yeah,
restaurant where you're
right,
paying
right.
or you've paid, you know, whatever, $150. It could be like maybe a $60 date.
Yeah, because I didn't ask to go to this
$50
$100
date.
Like,
Right.
okay, you chose Ruth Chris.
Right. And there's other things too that are more creative. A park
Come on.
date.
Right.
Let's go to the whatever, a river,
Yeah, it
nearby
doesn't
river
always
or
have to
something.
be
It
dinner.
doesn't gotta be the dinner fancy
Yeah.
pay all the money thing.
I feel like when you first meeting somebody, I feel like good things. It's kind of like I would more so look for somewhere that's like obviously public.
Yes.
Somewhere, you know, like a little coffee shop. You know,
Yeah.
something to
Definitely
really talk to
coffee.
somebody. Because I feel like even if you've been talking on the phone or texting, it's
Yeah.
different in person.
Yes.
So I feel like those first in person dates should be a little bit more casual.
Yes.
Yeah, casual. You know, it don't have to be the whole like Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but to each his own. Do what you want
That's
to
true,
do.
because some women like that.
Yeah, some
And
women do require
I would,
that.
I would prefer a coffee date, so I know, like, I didn't like the conversation
Yeah.
I had with you, but then benefit of the doubt creeps in, like, let me give him another try.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you
And
know,
sometimes the
Right.
formal dates can be a little bit stiff anyway.
Yeah.
Versus just going somewhere where you could kind of like chill.
Chill. Get to know them. See if it's a fit, and if not,
But I agree with you as far as it being a part of the game. Like it's
Right.
a dating. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
But you live to fight another day.
right?
Okay.
You'll be okay.
You
Yeah.
gonna be all right.
you're going to lose a lot till you find a one.
Like, come
Be
on.
prepared.
I know.
If you don't want to do it,
Don't
Don't
do
date.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's the same. Like for me, in relationships, it's less about money. I've spent, because I mean I'm the type, I'll pay for dates, or I'll pay, you know, you pay for the tickets, I'll get the and the concessions ain't cheap,
because it's not, because
but I'm more so concerned about my time. That's what when some don't work out, I'm like, I'm wasting my damn time.
Right.
I can't get that back. I can make some more money.
Right. Yeah.
But you wasted my damn time. Especially if you presented yourself one way and then turned out to be something. I'm more concerned about my time more than anything, and the principle of the fact that you was fake.
Right.
I'm more concerned about that.
Yeah, because I don't mind paying. Like we go on a first date, you pay. Like, if you that pressed about the money, like, I'm not even want to date you after that.
I mean,
like,
honestly,
I can take you on the second date. Like, I don't mind that. Like,
right.
because we both, like, it takes two, right? Like, you don't want, that man's probably, like, paying rent, doing all that, too. You know, he doesn't spend all the money
on you. It's not cheap out here.
we all.
We know.
So, you know, and that shows a lot about the person, too.
Yeah,
right.
character.
Yeah. Do you want the woman that always just, like, oh, I want $150 dinner, and ain't buying you nothing, like,
and then would you rather spend $150 and her fake it with you to continue to get you to spend more money, or would you rather her just be like, yeah, you spent $150, but I respect the honesty of saying this ain't it.
Like that, like,
because some women be like, girl, he spent $150, I'm gonna see what else he gonna do.
Yeah.
Do you want that?
Yeah.
So what?
I know.
I mean,
yeah.
Be honest.
Yeah, dating is just it's a hard line. It's hard.
It is. There is, but you know what's weird? Because there's like also like when you're talking about, you asked, is there an expectation? Like if a man spends a lot of money either on a date or for you to then sleep with him, but then hypothetically, if you spend all this money on me and I slept with you after the first date, wouldn't you could also potentially judge me for sleeping with you on the first,
like,
so you
tell
just
your
can't
Jesus
win.
she slept with me on the first date.
Right.
You just can't win.
Yeah, no.
No.
I feel like as women, it's like, y'all should, they say what we shouldn't do, but then they want us to do what we're told we're not supposed to do.
Like, is there ever a right time? Like,
right.
If I have sex, then now I'm like self-conscious if I had sex with you on the first date, because I'm like, but I would rather know, I guess. Like, what was the second part of that question?
Well, my thing is, what do you feel is a reasonable time as far as like before you sleep with somebody? Do you feel like there should be a time limit on it, or should it be more so kind of like a vibe thing?
Yeah.
Or is there like, okay, no, you waiting at least 3 months, or you waiting? Is there a time limit on it, and does it really matter?
I feel like that works for some people, but not all. I feel like I can kind of tell if I'm like, because women know, like, I will have sex with that one.
Right.
We already know. We know. But, like, sometimes we want to wait and see, like, you know, I want to do this. But then, like, he goes, because we're thinking about it a lot. Usually we do want to. I'm speaking for myself. Yeah.
No,
but, like, then I don't want him to judge me at the same time. So it's just, like, now I'm fighting with myself, and now if I did have sex with you on the first date, now I'm just like, dang, shouldn't have did it. Now you're not texting me back, this and that, and it's just like, did I do something wrong? But what have I, like, then do I wait 30 days and then have sex and then not hear back? Now after that 30 days, I'm attached. I'm like, because after a week, I'm like, are we like together?
I said, the time is like, damn, wasting my damn time.
Yeah.
I think too, like, I think it kind of goes back to the conversation we had about sexual satisfaction.
Yeah.
Because like we said, that is important. So I know a lot of women that they don't really want to wait a long time because they're like, I don't want to get invested in somebody and it's whack.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And we have a higher risk of it not working out than men. Like, I feel like for the majority, men is they're gonna get what they need to get. Yeah. Okay, it's gonna give what they needed to give. But for us, if it could easily not be a good fit. So some women is just like, I want to get that out the way before I even invest my time.
Yeah, have autonomy of your own body. Like, if you want to do it, if you want to put a time on it, that's fine. Some man is gonna respect that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that, and that man don't want you, like,
yeah,
that's not the man for you then.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
exactly.
Because it don't matter on the first date, like, how the conversation is after that. Like, if I have sex with you on the first date and it still lasts that long, I must really like you.
Right.
Yeah.
I could.
Right.
Some occasions I didn't come on the first time.
Right.
So you don't know my body yet.
Yeah.
So like
Right.
it was probably more pleasurable for you at that moment.
Yeah.
You
that's
know.
true.
So
Unless you get somebody that,
know what they doing.
No, they
the first time.
I think that, I definitely think it's a vibe thing. I will say I've never been the 30-dayer, the 3-monther. It's just been, but, you know, first dates, a couple dates, that's kind of been my experience. However, being very upfront about what I'm looking for helps. So then I don't feel any type of, if we really vibe and we're compatible, and because I'm sure we've been all been on date, whatever, where it's like, damn, I really am into this person, and maybe that's what it looks like ended up in the bedroom, and then that's just, you know, how the night ends. But I think though that for me, always say I'm looking for this. I'm not looking to be your friend, your buddy, your whatever, your mama, your whatever it is you want. I'm looking for a partner. I'm looking for a relationship. I'm looking for, you know, something committed, something serious. And that can scare people away. Because a lot of people, especially kind of in the era we're in, where it's just like, we just talk and we just hanging out. We just vibe, which is fine. Because that works for people.
Yeah, because you need to get to know people.
Get to know people, yeah. Me, though, this is 2021 Imani, though. This is 2021. It's a new thing. But I've just I'm like, this is what I want.
I think you should, though.
Yeah.
And this conversation came up before. I don't know if it was in the group or something I said on my page. I said, women, if a man can't tell you what he wants, that's a red flag that he's trying to waste your time.
Right.
Because nobody's saying that you have to decide today if you want to be in a relationship. I just want to know that you're actually looking for one. Because if you're not, then we're wasting our time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I come across somebody that says, oh, I'm just trying to have fun with somebody to hang out with, I might still hang out with you because I still want to have somebody that I could, you know, hit up if I want to do something fun. Yeah. But as far as who I'm going to take serious, I want to know, oh, I'm looking for a partner.
Yeah.
Looking for, and it being me, it might not be me. But I at least want to know that we on the same page.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, I think it also minimizes people getting hurt, because then there is this, if we enter into something and I'm thinking in my mind, well, I actually really want something really serious, and he's kind of like, or vice versa. If I'm like, I'm just looking to have fun, and he's like, damn, I really like this girl, but we never really are on the same page. And then when I'm like, yeah, I had a good time, it was great, you know, 3 months in, he's hurt, right? And rightfully so. And I think that if people really, it's okay to say, I just want to have sex. I would just like to have sex with you. That may sound very strange to just say to somebody, but why not? Why not just embrace that kind of honesty with people? I think it would just minimize a lot of pain and just miscommunication down the road.
Yeah, you got to be honest. I think, too, sometimes where we're not honest is where we may have gone into a situation where we said, oh, I'm just looking for something fun, something casual, and then you actually you get to know the person, you actually like them.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not honest in saying, look, this started out like this, and I said this is what I wanted, but that changed.
Yeah.
Just say that. Instead of, like, feeling like, well, it's been so long that maybe things, like, don't just expect it to happen.
Right.
Just say it. Yeah. You know, if that person's like, I really just still want to have fun, then you have the option to either stay or say, you know what, well, I feel like I'm getting too invested, so I'm going to just go ahead and go my separate ways.
Yeah.
But don't just let it fester.
And then it's hard because then, like, you're attached. And it gets hard after a while.
And I tell people all the time, it just gets harder.
Yeah.
It doesn't get easier.
It ain't gonna get any easier
because your feelings get deeper.
It's just gonna keep getting.
Yes.
But it's been a year. Well, next year is gonna be 2, and you're gonna keep saying that and be in the same situation. So
yeah.
I think definitely being honest, and if you want to go ahead and jump in and do it. I did that with my husband. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I don't necessarily like broadcast it and tell people like, girl, just go ahead, it worked out for me. I just say do what you feel. And I feel like you have to find out, again, like we were saying, be independent thinkers and find what works for you and how you feel like you want to move in this dating game, because it's literally the dating game. And everybody can move differently. It doesn't have to be a box where it says you have to do it like this for everything to work out how it's supposed to.
There's no right way.
Or to find the right person, you have to do this and you have to ask these questions and you have. ain't no
You
manual.
can ask a
There is
question,
no
and they can
manual.
laugh.
I know.
You know, I mean, it's obviously there's, better ways to go about what you want, but again, it's about what you want. So you can't do what Imani does, you know what I mean? Because you might not be looking for the same things that
Right.
she's looking for. You have to move your own way.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
so I tell people, don't be scared. If you want to do it,
Right.
girl, do
Do it. Just do it. Do what you feel.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Jump both feet in. Just do it. All right. So speaking of doing what you want to do, let's get on the self-esteem project and loving yourself. So Miss Lizzo is partnered with Dove, and they're doing a campaign that's supposed to target mostly young girls as far as loving themselves, despite all of the filters that we see on Instagram and social media, and really just embracing how you are. So she had a picture that came out, and she was nude. Of course, she was covering certain parts of her body to where you couldn't really see everything, but it pretty much put her body on display. We already know she is plus size, and a lot of people had a problem with that. I personally do feel like it is necessary in this day and age, but how do you all feel as far as with the campaign, and how do you feel about the pressures that may be on young girls to look a certain way? Because we say natural bodies this and bring back natural bodies, which, I mean, makes no sense to me because most people are natural. But do you feel like there is a pressure to look a certain way?
Yeah. Well, I feel too, even like in the past, I don't know, I'd say 10 years or so, it used to be, and correct me if I'm wrong if anybody disagrees, that plastic surgery, like when a celebrity came out and you found out they got like, a breast job or something like that, it was actually like, ooh,
Taboo.
It wasn't like a, yes, sis, get your, BBL, whatever, right? And so now we're in this kind of era where it's almost encouraged. It's like, yeah, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. People modifying their body at like 8 as soon as they can, going overseas and getting whatever. For me, and this is just kind of a recent opinion, I won't ever shame anybody for how they want to modify their body. At the end of the day, it's your choice. But I am concerned with the encouragement of it, especially when I see so many women who have like side effects, issues that last them into their lifetime, right? So I don't know. I just think it's something we have to be mindful about. What do we encourage? What do we empower? Because yes, every grown woman has the ability to do whatever she wants.
They wanna do.
However, younger generations and girls are looking at us and looking at what they're seeing. And so I don't know. It's just something that I guess we all have to be mindful of.
And on what you said as far as like the lasting health effects, on the flip side of that, you had Hazel E, who went to Turkey to get a mommy makeover, and she ended up having complications, and they ended up having to take out her breast implants. And so again, I was glad that was put out there, because I feel like that's something that people need to know. I follow a girl on YouTube, because that's another thing. On YouTube, you could go on there and people are documenting their whole BBL process, and giving all the info of who to go to and what to prepare for and all that kind of, like, basically like tutorials on how to go get a BBL. Right. And the doctor that she ended up taking her video down, because the doctor that she went to ended up having 2 deaths, where I think it was like something where some of the fat like escaped, and then it went through and it ended up like clogging a artery or something like that, and had 2 people that died. So she ended up taking her video down because she's like, I didn't have complications, but this doctor is having, you got 2 deaths. Sued. Right. Probably, you know what I mean? So I feel like that part of it is not really put out there, that you could die potentially. Like, you know what I mean? And some people even lie sometimes about their medical history because they want to get it so bad.
They don't want to be told no.
And I think that was one of the issues with her doctor was, people lied about their medical history. And sometimes when you're going other places, it's not the same requirements that we have.
You get it for cheaper, but it's complications.
So definitely lasting health effects. I think that's something that needs to be also in the forefront. Because I also follow another fitness YouTuber not YouTuber, but Instagrammer, and she had got butt injections, and then she went to get them removed, and then she ended up having complications and getting necrosis, and parts of her butt ended up dying, and they're like, she's still trying to get it reconstructed.
Wow.
I'm like, this is not safe.
No.
But we do want to. I want. It's like you fall in the middle of like, dang, I want to empower women to do whatever they
want with their body,
what they want to do with their body, but you want them to be informed.
Yeah. Do your research before you
do
get
your
it done.
research. I always say that.
Yeah. And if you don't got the money, don't do it.
Go to the don't do it. Don't.
You just, you know what? We lack a lot of discipline. Yeah. And I feel like if we can get the butt.
Right.
Yeah, if you want
it. If you want it.
If you want it.
But
sorry, go ahead.
No, I did, like, I also don't want to shame women, like, for getting it. If you want to get it, you want to do mommy makeover, like, if that make you feel confident, go ahead and do it. But I like how they're partnering up with the teenagers, because I'm glad I didn't grow up with IG.
I'm really glad I didn't either. Like,
because, like, as
my gosh,
a 30-year-old, like, I'm pressured too to be like, I think this person I'm with wants my body to look like this. Like, you know, I don't have the biggest ass. Like, but I wanna, like.
She like, but I got everything else though.
So it's still, like, it's pressure. If it's pressure for us, I'm sure it's pressure on, like, teenagers. Like, I work with teenagers. That is, like, the real hard age right there.
Yeah.
And like, they just, I don't know. I feel sad for them, because it's like, you're growing up in, like, it's good and bad that you're growing up in this, like, era, right? Because a lot of them are really successful, but then a lot of them are really like depressed and all that, because like, my life doesn't look that way. I don't make $100 million at 18. Like, you got a lot of life left. Slow down.
A lot of pressure, even with just like when we started going through the pandemic, and people was like, if you didn't start a business,
LLC,
Twitter, right? And I'm like,
and
I'm an adult, and I'm like, oh shoot, let me get my stocks together. And I'm like, forget what they talk about, you know?
No.
It's like, it is a lot of pressure. I know. I'm not even gonna lie. On the way here, I was in the car, and you're taking your little selfies and stuff like that, and I had the little filter. I was like, I ain't putting no filter on.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I really noticed that. Like, it really went through my mind. Like, I was trying to pick the right filter. Like, that one got me looking too light. That ain't my real skin tone. This, because every single one, like we were talking about before the show, makes your nose all small and your lips big. And I'm like, where's the ones? I just want to smooth my skin a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just, I got a little, come on. Why does every single filter have to make your nose like super Michael Jackson?
Because our reality is distorted.
Right. It is a lot of the time. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just put my regular face on here.
Yeah.
Like, forget it.
Absolutely.
You gonna like it or you not?
Man, I come on, and I get on Instagram on my story all the time, and I'm coming on, I'm talking, I'm ranting. I'm not finna go put no makeup on. No. I'm not finna brush these edges down. I'm finna just get on here.
Let it be.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, dang, I come on Instagram stories looking rag. They like, yeah, you sure do. I'm like, so what? This is what I look like every day.
Every day. I'm showing you me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you say you want the real, but when you get the real, you like,
do they really want the real?
Right.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't. And it's hard for me to believe when I see, like, for all the stuff you like on Instagram.
Right.
Is that what you like? Like, then it's just like, and then in my mind, I'm just like, well, maybe I should look like that. So I can imagine, like, a little kid or a teenager saying, like, well, he likes all these photos, so I need to look like that. I need to achieve that look.
Right.
And it's like, but then I should love myself.
Right.
But then I want this person to like me. And then it's just like, it's a lot.
it is.
Yeah.
I look at it like there's a fine line between, for me, like, I admire every woman. Chloe Bailey, she been out here killing the game. You know what I'm saying? My body ain't nothing like that. But it's like, I appreciate those women, but I feel like for young girls, it's hard to just be able to appreciate women for who they are.
Yeah.
And still not internalize wanting to be them.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yeah, it's rough. And then it's also like you'll be looking at somebody and you'll be like, damn, I want to look like her. She don't even look like her.
Right.
She's got whatever filter, maybe contorted thing, or she's got some sort of surgery, or the lighting, and then
I was about to say, she got good lighting, she got good angles.
Right.
You know?
It's like,
and that's my thing is, I feel like we all always want to look our best. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. But social media is always going to get your best. I'm not finna get on social media like and have somebody take a picture of me right now with my stomach sitting on my lap. I'm finna get it together, suck it in, turn to the side. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like
take
that's
100
normal.
photos.
Yeah.
I choose the right one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
gonna take 100 photos until I get the right angle. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's nothing wrong with wanting to look
There's something.
your best. You know what I mean?
We all
And
want to
then
look good.
I don't want to be penalized because, like, well, you always put the pictures on where you look good. Why would I put the ones where I look bad?
Right.
Yeah, so you can talk shit.
Right. I know.
Like, you know what I mean? So if it's certain things that I'm like, oh man, oh no, my stomach don't look right, or this, you know what I mean? I'm gonna take another picture.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But then that goes back to, like, are we ever really satisfied?
Yeah.
That's a
It's
whole
just
nother,
like we're always trying to, like, oh, I'll be happy till I get this next thing.
Yep.
Like, are you content with your life right now? Because with more, you're not gonna be happy if
You're
you
not.
still inside, like, not content.
Think about it like this. When I look back on old pictures of myself when I used to be in the gym all the time working out, and I think about how much more I wanted to change about myself, and when I look at myself now, I'm like, damn, I looked good. You know what I mean? But
I thought I was fat back then.
You couldn't tell me I didn't need to still lose 15 pounds. My stomach wasn't flat enough. You know? So it's like, you think about, like, dang, girl, why didn't you enjoy? I wish I would have enjoyed that where I was right then more.
Right.
And I think that's what made me realize, like, I could always want to build on myself because, I mean, that's a part of life. We always want to grow. We always want to keep pouring into ourselves. But I have to be happy with where I'm at right now, or you'll never
be happy.
ever be satisfied.
Never.
And also find the person that is happy with you.
Yes.
Because, like, that'll really affect you.
It does.
I don't know. One thing my therapist says, like, you doing all this work, right? Why would you get with someone who, like, you have to, like, redo all that work? She's like, girl, you gonna waste money.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you
for
wasted
real.
money.
Yeah,
Like, you
for
did all this work
real.
on yourself to go back to
Yeah.
somebody who's insecure. I date a lot of insecure men.
Right.
I went through 5 Instagrams, I just want to say, because they're like, I don't like that. And I just want to keep the peace. But it's just like, find somebody that accepts you. Period.
Yes.
Because you're not going to always look that way.
No.
I'm going to gain that I'm in love weight.
Right.
Work with me to get it off.
Pandemic, or you know, it's not even just in love way. It's pandemic way.
Yep, it's
I may have
stress.
stress way. Maybe I lost my job, or lost a family member, or whatever. Like, things in life
Ups
are gonna
and
happen,
downs.
and you really have to have somebody
A solid
that
partner.
is, you know what I mean? Because I always say that when they say in sickness and health, and, you know, good and bad, the bad is not y'all arguing or not getting along. I think that's what people always think. It's like, no, you gonna go through some things in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen people go through, you know, losing children. You know what I'm saying? Losing pregnancies, losing, you know, your mom, your dad, or whatever. It's like, those is the bad things that you have to make it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just, he get on my nerves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you
That's
only
minor.
if you only loving me when I'm up, like,
Man.
when I'm down and you just quick to let go, then I know who you are. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we not gonna always have ups.
Nope.
Yo.
How are you when I have a down?
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you pep talk me?
That's
Like,
the real.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
'Cause I'm not-
the real.
I'm not Superwoman. I can't do it all. I need you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts.
Mm.
I definitely feel that. I definitely feel like the filters go beyond the body and the face, but it's also the filter on people's lives
Yeah.
and what it's really like, because we only see the highlight
The
reel.
highlights.
Sure.
We
Yes.
only seeing the
good
highlight reel,
stuff.
which, I mean, that should be it. I mean, that's what we're
Right.
here for. I don't necessarily get on the internet to see, well, let me find somebody else that might be miserable, or no. I
Right.
want to, you know,
Sure.
I love to see people going on vacation. I love to see people doing well financially, getting new jobs, and, you know, I love to see those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like it takes a level of maturity and age to be able to say, I'm actually happy for somebody else, and it doesn't have to be about me.
Yes.
To
yes.
say, like, oh, well, what about me? Why am I not getting these things? I think that's hard for people.
It is. It is.
Especially our young people.
Yeah.
And so,
So much pressure on them.
right. I'm here for the project. I think it's definitely necessary, and I really hope that people can see it for what it is and look past their disdain for Lizzo or for her body. You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
That's really what it is.
Yeah.
And like I said,
because
regardless,
if it was somebody else,
it would be the same thing.
Yep.
Because if they chose Meg the Stallion, they would have a problem with it. Or if they chose, somebody with the typical, body type,
it wouldn't be so controversial.
It'll still be the same thing to me, though.
Oh
yeah.
Because I feel like like I see the comments on Meg the Stallion, or even just what's the little girl's name, Coil Ray, where they were saying she looked like a little boy and her body is too small or whatever. It's like, just say y'all have a problem with women doing what they want to do.
Because soon as she get a BBL or something done, y'all gonna be like, she got her body done.
Exactly. Yeah. They did the same thing to Sweetie, because she's like pretty petite, and then she got some work done, and I'm like, now
but
y'all
you still like her.
Right.
You still double
y'all
tapping.
Still liking the photos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just don't make no sense.
Nope.
I mean,
and that goes back to humans not being satisfied.
Content.
But
I'm like, just like, can women in general, or black women, do anything right? Why everything we do is wrong?
Right.
We always saving somebody.
I know.
Man. But y'all always telling us how to be women.
I wonder
how you gonna do it, sis?
That weighs on us, though. It's like, because we were saying like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have known, or let me say 15, I wouldn't have known that people are saying things about Saweetie's body and Megan Thee Stallion's body and Lizzo, right? But I see these comments and I see how people think about black women's bodies 24/7.
Yes.
And as black women, when we get this kind of messaging over and over, it's nothing positive. Yeah. It only contributes to whether it's insecurity, lack of whatever, lack of self, avoid whatever. But I feel like social media is all like.
Yeah.
Instagram, and particularly, I just think, I almost feel like it never was created in a way. We're too oversaturated. We see too much shit.
Yeah.
And I don't think our brains have not evolved enough to take it all in. They haven't evolved enough to even take it all in and still be empathetic, kind people to one another.
No compassion,
so
no empathy.
People are just mean and callous and say whatever because they only, like, it hasn't helped us at all as a humanity. That's just in some ways, yes, we see positive stuff and all that. You can find fitness videos, whatever, but a lot of it is just like a cesspool of negativity.
It's a cesspool of people, like comments. Our parents say, if you don't have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. The internet gave us the opportunity to say those things. You know what I mean? It's like, now I can say those things from a computer and leave it on your doorstep and log out. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where the negativity comes in, because for me, I still have the mindset of, if I wouldn't say this to your face and feel comfortable saying it to your, I don't want to really say it, because I'm like, that's mean.
Yes.
Because there's times where I be wanting to say certain things, and I don't say them just because they're mean. They rude. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to say everything you think, and I don't in person, so why I'm going to do it on the internet?
Right. Yeah. Great point.
That's what a lot of people do.
That's a great point.
They just, before they, just like, yo, chill out. That's a great Go say your affirmations before you wake up.
right. You need that.
Dang, like, we have, like I said, 24/7 access to, it could either be a negative or it could be informational.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it just rides the fence of being negative. I think that's why I kind of dialed back with all that was going on with the trials and stuff like that, because it was like, I don't have the energy to address certain things on the internet, because people feel like when it's on the internet that it's free game. Once you put it on the internet, people can say whatever they want to say. They can do whatever they want to do with it. And sometimes you just don't want to deal with the comments. So people are like, why are you silent? Why are you not saying nothing? Because I don't want to hear what anybody else has to say back.
Yeah.
I want to come to a place like this where I can say what I want to say, you know what I mean, amongst my people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And be comfortable and to be able to open up. You can't open up on the internet without some trolls coming.
Right.
And you just, sometimes you don't need that energy.
No.
You don't need that energy.
Not at all.
Your energy. You don't have to.
You don't always have to engage.
You don't always have to engage. And I know, I feel like as black people, we feel bad about that sometimes, because we want to speak out for our people. We want to, you know what I mean, always be informed. And, man, that social media activism is getting toxic.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Yes, so, in a lot of ways,
sometimes let me just save. save it for the pod.
Yep.
Save it for the
Yeah,
pod.
yeah.
You know, because this has become my outlet in a lot of ways.
That's good.
That's
In a lot of ways, it really has. Speaking of outlets, our next topic of conversation is Mr. Kevin Samuels.
Let's get
The
it
Godfather, as
The
he calls.
godfather of using his outlet to say
Oh,
what he wants
Whatever's
to
on
say.
his mind.
Okay, majority about black women, but a lot of people say that he's fair. They feel like he's fair because he gives it to women and he gives it to men, but I don't agree.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the question we have today about Kevin Samuels is he problematic? That's the main question that we have about Kevin Samuels, because I've seen a lot of different clips of his show where people call in and people feel like, okay, well, they called in, so they asked for it.
Right.
But the general consensus is, to me, him telling people that they don't deserve whatever it is that they're saying they deserve. They feel like they deserve a high value man, high value woman.
Right.
You ain't good enough. You a 4 at best. That's his favorite line.
You a 4, ma'am.
Ma'am.
You're yeah.
You're a 4.
You're a 4.
He probably is
That's
6 at best.
Right. Yeah.
The nerve.
Yeah.
Barely a 6.
Right.
But do we feel he's problematic? And if so, what are some of the things that he said or some of the clips that you've seen that make you believe that he is or isn't?
Yeah. I mean, I think yes. But oddly enough, I think that's his platform. He's kind of like a shock jock, where it's like they've got enough truth in it where you can't just say, oh, he's a crazy guy. But they're doing things that are going to be problematic, that are going to be incendiary and make people hate him or love him. And that's what gets him money.
Yep.
So I think he's found his niche. He's like, all right. And his audience is sort of weird because he's got like an audience of men who definitely are not high value, who are just like, they just don't like black women. They're just dusties. Like that's the pool. That's one pool. And then the other part of his audience is kind of like, I don't want to say insecure black women, but the women who call into the show, I just could never, because the way he speaks to these women, people say, oh, if you're nice, he'll talk. Nah. He will literally, I've seen a woman call in, a black woman, who actually called in to say, Kevin, I love your show. Very positive. He found a way to manipulate the conversation to get her defensive, because he starts kind of attacking, then made her seem like she had an attitude, kind of gaslighted her, and then makes it a clip titled, look at this single baby mama, black baby mama, get mad at me or something like that. So like he purposefully likes to humiliate
People
and disrespect black women in particular. So I think like he began sort of with a more, maybe like there were men on there, women, but now it's just kind of like people just watch his stuff to see black women call in and get disrespected.
Because that's the most popular clips for him, so that you could kind of, even if it was maybe even, it's starting to, you gonna go towards what's your bread and butter is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he
want to be IG famous.
He is
right.
He is Derek Jackson, and it's crazy because men were so ready to get Derek Jackson the fuck up out of here, but then they accept him, and he's doing the exact same thing. Like I felt like that's what I didn't like about Derek Jackson was that, like you said, there's always going to be a little bit of truth in there,
right.
But you're the way you're wording it is a way that is going to trigger people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like parts of it is true, but parts of it are exaggerated. Parts of it are like sometimes you're just completely reaching, and because it's going to trigger people to be mad about it, share it, and be like, "Look what this fool said," and that's what they get their clicks and views off of it. He's doing the exact same thing, but guys are like, "But we like him though."
Yeah.
I wonder why women continue to call in.
Child.
I don't know who he is. And maybe
I don't want to know.
I don't. The only clip I seen is him like saying like, "At best you're a 4," and I was just like, I don't want to hear. I don't
want to hear that. One clip that I saw from him, for me, that made him problematic, because I don't have to like everything that you say. For you, that doesn't make you problematic because I don't like what you have to say.
Right.
But for me, it was the clip where he was on a show with some other guys, and he was saying, kind of explaining how he felt like he was Asian in a past life because they're more so hard on their women, and they'll tell their women that they're ugly or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And then he also was saying and agreeing with the other guys on the pod that black women are universally unattractive. So he was saying that beauty is not subjective, it's objective, and based on, there's like scientific, like, you know how they have like that, you know, your nose size, proportions of your face and all that. And he was saying that black women are at the bottom of that, like we're at the bottom basically. And then he was one of the other guys was saying in an inner city, a black man is lucky if he sees a woman that's over a 6 within a year. And I'm like,
wow. So
black women, like, and to me, it just really showed like what I already believe, that he has a hatred, not just, I feel like, for black people and his own blackness, to me, insecure, and then definitely to black women.
We're like, who raised him?
Where
your mama at?
That your mama clip was just
where your grandma?
So cringy that I was like, okay, so now I see why you get at these, you're a 4 at best and all that, because you really don't believe black women scientifically can be attractive.
And he said that? He said that?
Child,
that's sad. I feel like with him, there are things when women call in the earlier, I don't know, the later stuff I've seen of him, it just seems all very like just trying to trigger people and just be whatever. But one thing that I did find interesting when women would call in is that the common theme that tends to happen with the women that call in don't have an understanding of what they want, or they have, and I thought it was interesting because aside from Kevin Samuels, I think women, we get conflicting ideas of what we should have and what a man should be and whatever. We're told, oh, you need to find a man that makes this amount of money, but then you don't make money, and then you need to get your money, but then also this and that, and you deserve this, but then what does the dating pool actually look like? And so I think we get a lot of different things. So I have seen videos where women call in and they say, yeah, I want a man that makes 6 figures, but then whatever it may be, right? Like, but I'm recently divorced and I have 4 kids or something. And that doesn't mean that woman doesn't deserve love.
Right.
But when you're realistic, hell, I have to be realistic about things. I have a daughter and whatever. And that slims down the dating pool for me. Because not every man wants to be with a woman that has a child.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I want to say it's sad, but like that's just what it is. A single man probably wants to maybe have his own kids. I don't know. Or not deal with my baby daddy. So and that's fair. I don't know. So I think like, I will say that for women, we should be realistic everybody should, about dating. And we deserve good partners. But then I think we have to take into fact certain things, certain factors in our lives. And does that affect our options?
But for me, what I always say, just because something may be harder to find, that doesn't mean you have to change what you expect or what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want what I want, you know, sir. And I feel like some things, again, like some things are preferences. Some things are just actual, like this is a standard and this is just it. You know what I mean? But I feel like black women, I don't care what nobody says, I feel like we are the most adaptable. We're the most understanding. I know they say that we aren't, but I feel like we are. Like, we give the benefit of the doubt, and we do, because we whether they believe it or not, we do take these things into consideration. You know what I mean? And sometimes we take them into consideration to a fault, you know, because of the Kevin Samuels that are telling us, well, you got a kid and you got this and you got that. And that's where I feel like it's problematic, because we internalize that sometimes and take that into consideration to where we start to actually accept things that we don't have to or shouldn't have to.
There's a man out there that's gonna like it.
Come on.
Now, will he be black though?
Oh,
that's the question to be asked. That's the question.
Are you saying we should date outside our race?
I just am saying that, you know, being a black woman who has dated exclusively black men, and that's my that's what I would love. That's what I might prefer. But then the question other black people have been saying is should we limit ourselves?
But look at it like this though, because they say, you were just saying, it's slimmer for you. You got this, you got that. You telling me that the dating pool is closing down, but then if I widen it by adding on other races, all of a sudden it's a problem.
Right.
I'm just trying to widen, like you said, it's slim, ain't it? Let me widen it up.
Widen the pool.
Come on.
I mean, Yeah. It'd be nice. I still have a prep. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever. I don't know, but it'd be nice to find a black man that could be a part. You know, all the things, but it's hard. And then also it's a geographic thing too.
Yes.
We're in Cali. There's not like in Sacramento. I think we make up like 13% of the. So of course, if you go down south, like where my family's from, it's like, hey, what's up? You know, so it's great. But where you are, you may not see other black people just to date in general.
And that's the thing too, is that I feel like that we need to get out. We gotta. Your mate might not be here in Sacramento. Yeah, they probably ain't. I'm just keeping it real. They probably ain't. Okay, it's real slim pickings out here. But you know, we do have to, widen where we expect to meet somebody too.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times I love my friends, but I'm like, sis, he ain't finna break in your house. You got to go outside. I mean, it's a pandemic now, but even still, like, he not gonna break into your house while you watching Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta go outside.
You gotta give it a try. It's hard.
Gotta go somewhere, and try to get to different places and different spaces. And I know we like to stay to our circle, but sometimes you just gotta branch out. You know I used to be very closed off. Like, I ain't going out with my coworkers. I don't know them people. But you never know. You gotta get around different people and different groups of people to.
I agree.
Really meet somebody, because I know in our friend group a lot of people just dated each other because we always around each other. So it's they talking now. It didn't work out. So you gotta branch out.
Right.
Like, we gotta branch out more, definitely, and just really get out here and be open. I feel like
open-minded.
But a lot of people are also against long distance relationships. So
it's hard. Yeah.
Then there's that, because that's a hurdle.
That is a hurdle.
Yeah. Even like I was dating someone in he lived in Oakland. Even that, I mean, even though it's only hour and a half away, it still is. You don't have like the immediate like, oh, hey babe, I'm gonna just stop by tonight, and it's like I gotta pack a bag, spin in the night bag, and I gotta do all the things and get in the car, and it can be hard, right? Exactly.
Sometimes you be tired, like, damn, I drive an hour to go kick it for this weekend, and I know for me, like, I like to use my weekends to just really decompress. I'm like, I sure don't want to spend it traveling somewhere and having to get back.
Absolutely.
It's a lot.
It is.
But yeah, overall, the consensus is Kevin Samuels is problematic.
I think what he does is problematic, and he knows it. So
that's a problem in its own.
Yeah, that's a problem in it. So he knows his audience. So he's gonna do what he's got to do.
I think sometimes that it's, again, like we were saying about the internet, unfortunately, if he was to not be problematic, he probably wouldn't get the views.
And I guess it, like, problematic is like from your perspective, right? Like some of the men that follow him, he's talking the truth. Okay, that's what you believe. I believe that it's kind of toxic what he's saying.
It can be toxic to especially a lot of the women, but I feel like he, like you said, he found his niche and he's doing what he has to do, but is it necessarily on him, or is it on the consumers that we only like to consume?
We like drama.
Problematic,
Yes.
We like to laugh.
If he wasn't telling people they was fours, I doubt people would really. If he was like really trying to be encouraging and really give some real advice and package it in a nice way, wouldn't nobody be watching his videos?
That's true. But there is a lane for that. But it seemed like it might take longer if he took that lane, right?
Right.
So it's not. But I heard, I don't know, but he's been around for a long time.
He's been around for a while.
Okay.
But now all of a sudden he
What's
popping
his
when
title?
He's a relationship.
Image consultant.
Image consultant. There you go. I was saying something like that.
The image consultant.
He's an image consultant.
What does that mean?
He just tells people how to dress. That's really how he started off.
But then he just started telling they were forced.
Right. To tell people how to. Is he supposed to be like a life coach now? Like,
right, I know. Are you a therapist? Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
He does give advice.
Look up his Instagram.
Yeah, you have to see. I've spent a week on Kevin Samuels. I just was like, because I was just so, I don't know. There's just so many things, and I just was like, this is so interesting. Like, people, why do people like da 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 da? But I will say, I would prefer a man like Kevin Samuels who's being honest than like a Derek Jackson who's just peddling me the shit he thinks I want to hear about.
He's
like,
worse.
oh, queen, come on, leave that man, girl, just go
When
do
you're
your
out here
thing.
cheating.
It's like, we all know it's like, okay. And then you find out he's a serial cheater.
Everything about him never was genuine to me.
Right.
Because it never really, to me, came from a place of, from what I saw, it never came from a place of personal experience. It just came from a place of, I got all the answers and
That's a
I know
good
everything. And I can't identify with people like that. Where it's just like, okay, but what about you? You telling everybody else what the, you know what I mean?
And that's the red flag.
That's a red flag. Like,
yeah.
I never, and then for me, I was always like, okay, yeah, he be having some points, but a broke clock could be right twice a day. You know, I'm not gonna say everything he's saying is wrong, but that's kind of the way that I feel about Kevin Samuels. But like I said, after that clip about black women, he can miss me. I don't care what.
I don't think I ever want to hear it.
Yeah.
I was like, he lost me on that. Like,
That's awful, especially because we're up against the image
So
of the black
much
woman
already.
is so like, we're already painted in this combative. We got the attitude. We got the this. We're aggressive. We're this. We're that. So then to also say like, yeah, and also you the ugliest.
Y'all
It's
the
just like,
ugliest.
damn.
Do you tell your mom
Can
that?
we win? Can we just
Tell your
live?
mama she
Did a
do
black woman have you?
Right.
Do you think she was like?
She at the bottom of the totem pole with us, bruh.
Right.
And if we down there, you down there with
Right.
us. Come on now.
Come on.
Because if you have a kid, your daughter's gonna be black, and this is what she gonna look at.
Right.
Period.
Do you have kids?
I don't know.
He does. Oh yeah.
He does.
Who he does not take care of. He's divorced. He was also a stepfather. So it's interesting, like Kevin Samuels, his life does not model the high value man that he taught. Like,
So he basically taking his personal experiences out on everybody else.
Right.
That's why he gets on the women about already having a kid because he was a stepfather.
Right.
Obviously, that didn't work.
yep.
Self-hate,
Exactly.
self-hate.
Yeah. Failed relationship, some sort of failed, I think it was a failed marriage or divorce or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly like I said. And this is crazy because that's what I was getting from what he was saying. I was like, there's some type of self-hate, some type of personal anger.
And if you taking
Weird.
advice from him, that's a red flag for me.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
And that's what people used to. That's the thing that's crazy because this is what the guys used to say about Derek Jackson. Like, why y'all taking advice from him when he? Where's his relationship? Where, you know what I mean? And it's like, this,
And I'd never
this
seen
man
his
the same
wife
thing.
before all this stuff
Never
happened.
saw him. I didn't even know.
I thought he was
married.
single. Yeah, I thought
I did not even
didn't know they've
that.
been
Never
together
knew.
since high school. You would have never thought.
wow.
Never known.
Nope.
But again, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm not taking advice from somebody who ain't. I'm sure not taking advice from.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing.
Nope.
All right, so I think that's all we have for the internet wins again. Oh, okay. So wait, hold on though. Today, DMX is set to be moored at Barclays Center, so his service is going to be today
It's
at
at 1.
4 o'clock.
One-
Eastern
wow.
time. So
Oh,
that's
okay, it's 1 o'clock here,
1
yeah.
o'clock here. What time is it?
It's almost 1.
Damn, we gonna miss it. All right. So
Wow.
yeah, definitely
Tune in.
RIP DMX.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah.
know. Like, was this like just announced? Like,
No, I
Must
seen
have
it
been.
Man.
Oh, you saw it?
yesterday.
Yesterday
I seen
they
it
announced
yesterday
it?
on his
Okay, I didn't see
page,
it yesterday.
Instagram page.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll definitely make sure to tune in to that. And for the last but not least, we have our trash as fuck. And I'm gonna take that over today. I
It's
think,
not Kevin Samuels.
I think y'all. Well, I mean, it could be Kevin Samuels, but I had somebody else in mind. I don't know if y'all gonna agree with me, but I think the trash as fuck goes to Kaitlyn Jenner for running
At this point,
California, girl.
he could. I'm sorry.
She
She's competing with her own family.
because
Right.
I'm like
For
that
attention.
right there. And the thing that irritates me the most is I feel like every time there's like a problematic governor, that's the time that somebody completely unqualified all of a sudden
Yes.
want to step up.
Yes.
Like nobody asked for you. Nobody.
That goes back to white man or female privilege.
Yes.
To
White
think you
privilege.
could. Do you?
That,
What do you do?
I'll do it. I could do the job. Like, how?
Wow,
Why?
why?
Like, what makes you qualified to think
Right. Right.
that you could, other than being white.
You know, I always think, like, if I had the audacity of a white man, I would be further in line.
Period.
Just think, yeah. I
they
don't get it. And is that the first governor running a now? Like, I think that's the only one I've seen. Is
That's
everybody
the one
else
I've
running? Yeah.
That's all the only one I've seen. But I mean, I know we had our issues with Gavin Newsom and how he did things, but I feel like it really was an unprecedented time.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, we have. I know people were very critical of him though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was some things that he did that I was like, come on now, bruh.
Yeah.
But I'm not finna replace you with Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, sis gotta have a seat.
Because I feel
go.
like isn't Kaitlyn also a conservative?
Yes.
Or is on like
Yes.
kind of more. I just. No,
Make America
I'm also
great
over
again.
the kind of the era, the celebrity, the
Yeah.
that once we did that with Trump and now this,
Hell
it
no.
makes, you know what, it makes the political thing look like a joke.
Right.
Then we're telling the younger voters to, oh, come on, you got to vote, take it seriously. You're a vote, da 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 da. Well, look at this.
Look at
It's
the
a
options.
joke. It's all about entertainment. It's all about just like. So I mean, why should they take it seriously when it seems like nobody else is really taking it seriously?
First Kanye West. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
And,
always somebody that ain't got no credentials,
Right.
No
The Rock.
business.
When they
Oh,
saying that,
yeah, I
like,
feel like I
for president
saw
or something,
that.
or was
The
that
Rock.
a joke?
I hope it was.
Okay. Because I don't know, it was a
Yeah, I
statistic
know.
that
Oh.
40-some% of the people
Would
would
vote
vote
for
for
the-
The
I saw
Rock or
that.
something. I don't know if it's true.
We don't need this kind of pressure. We don't need this kind of stress.
Yeah.
Okay? Like,
Ugh.
I feel like it gotta be some. Well, I mean, I understand that anybody could run, but we gotta stop this.
No.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
No.
At this point, like, you have no credentials, and I feel like you are trying to seize an opportunity because there is discourse within, you know what I mean, the state as of right now, and you're trying to capitalize on that. Like,
Right.
this is your opportunity to try to jump.
Yeah. No.
I just hope that California voters are smarter than that.
Yes.
I believe that we are.
I-
We don't get it right with rent control, but I believe that we gonna get it right with it.
Gosh. Yeah.
I don't know how to faith. I don't know.
You know what? After Trump, I don't put
Anything
nothing
can
past
go.
voters. I don't put nothing past the political process.
Right.
After what we just went through, like,
Because Kaitlyn has her followers, too.
yeah, she does.
Yeah.
You never know. You
That's
never
gonna
know.
be interesting though for like the LGBT community, like that, because that is I mean, from a representation perspective, great.
Yeah.
I guess I would think it. I guess it's unprecedented. It's like it would be the first trans person to. I guess
But
maybe.
you ain't got no credentials. And
Right, you don't have the credentials.
I've
People don't
seen
care
a lot
about
of the, I won't say backlash, but I've seen a lot of them speaking out, and they were basically saying like, we ain't behind this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they were more so behind because people were taking the opportunity to trash her as far as like her identity.
Being
You know what I
trans,
mean?
yeah.
They're like, I mean, she trash, but she
But also-
trash.
right.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, so that's more so where they were coming from. Like, you could criticize her all you want because we with you, but you know, you still have to respect her as a person. And
Yeah,
I
I
definitely
get that.
agree with that.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
that don't give you no
Free range to
no
just be like,
extra-
wake up one day and be like, I think I'm going to
finna
run.
Be like, oh well, that's gonna be the.
No.
You gotta have some credentials. Sorry.
No.
All right. Well, that's all we have for today. I think it was a great show. I know y'all was nervous, but
I know.
it was fun, right?
Didn't know where to put my hand.
Right. So I'm telling y'all, tell the people that it's fun. It's really, it's so chill.
Yeah, it is like a conversation.
Just
Yeah, I
literally
loved
just
it.
chopping it up
You know.
with your people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. I had fun today. I
had
hope y'all
fun.
enjoyed the ladies podcast. I know there's going to be a fellas podcast follow up, and they're going to have a lot to say about what we had to say.
Okay.
So make sure that y'all are subscribed, that y'all got y'all notifications on, so y'all can be ready for their episode, because I guarantee. I feel like we should have a follow-up to their follow-up, because I'm going to have some more to say after they say what they got to
Be
say.
in the background objecting.
Right.
Right.
Like, I feel like it should be a joint episode where we
That
can,
would
we
be
can
dope.
Speak, we
That
can
would-
speak for ourselves and defend ourselves.
And then
I feel
ask
like-
questions.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna try to Kevin Samuels us and just be saying what they want to say, and we
Ma'am.
don't get to defend ourselves.
Right,
Nah.
right.
But great show. yeah, make sure y'all subscribe, and we will see y'all on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
You just let it go. Let's go. Let's go. If you just let it go. Let's go. Let's go. If you just let